Welcome to Indian Tech Icon Spotlight, Bay Area Silicon Valley chapter. Today we have Sirjad, an engineering leader and a product leader with us, and we'll dive into his professional journey and career and his personal insights, and we'll know more about him. Sirjad has been into enterprise software all his life, and he loves building products, and he's here with us, and we'll ask him what it seems like from his side. Welcome to the show, Sirjad. It's a pleasure to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
So Sirjad, you work as a VP into product and engineering side, right? Tell me more about that. Like what your work looks like. What do you do actually?
Yeah, so I lead a very large engineering product organization. We are into product development. We build products for IT and security.
Uh-huh.
So I lead one of the BU, one of the biggest BU in my organization. And then we are into research and development. We do a lot of innovative stuff. Manage a very large team, which is geographically distributed.
Mm-hmm.
We have teams in 5 different locations. So managing the team itself is a pretty challenging task. And then really look for building what our customers are looking for, right? So in a nutshell, that's what the broader responsibility is.
So what drives your passion? Is it the product, or is it the customer, or is it your people, or is it a mix of everything? Like what drives your passion?
So for me, I'm always curious about problems that customers or challenges that customers are facing. I mean, especially when you talk to customers a lot, which I love to do, there is always problems that the customers tell you, but that won't come out in a well-articulated way,
Mm-hmm.
right? These are not directly translated into requirements.
Mm-hmm.
So I call it as unarticulated requirements,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think I'm once I start that conversation, because of the curiosity I have, I can actually find requirements from these conversations and really define a problem statement, right? What exact kind
Mm-hmm.
of challenges that the customer is facing. And I think one of my biggest strength is not only just building the product, but also understanding customer challenges by talking to customers.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to come up with solutions that really help customers solve their real world problems.
Got it. So basically, your passion comes from what customers' problems are and how do I solve those, right?
Exactly.
So when you look at the customer problems, I'm sure that you're dealing with multiple customers. What's your framework to prioritize, what needs to be solved? Because I'm sure that there are 10 things customers are asking, but how do you think as a leader, and how do you mentor your teams that, okay, what needs to be solved first?
Mm-hmm.
That prioritization framework, if you can talk about that.
So we do multiple steps that we follow, right? One is, because we are building products and that we wanted to serve to thousands of customers, right? So we are not building a product or a solution for a specific customer in mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we look at the broader market, right? We do a lot of market research and see what's happening, right? And we take customer requirements and see if there are multiple customers who are running into similar type of challenges,
Mm-hmm.
right? The other thing we look at is the revenue potential,
Mm-hmm.
right? Especially when you build products. Is it going to cater to a specific customer or a broader set of
Mm-hmm.
customers,
Mm-hmm.
right? So we look into those as well. We look at the market opportunity. We look at the competitors. How are competitors solving this type of challenges, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm always a believer that it is important, especially for product and engineering leaders, to really look at what's happening in your space,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then what you produce for a specific problem, it has to be the best than your competitors, right?
Right.
So it is important for you to know, what your competitors are doing.
That's a good way to look at it. I mean, prioritizing always helps. Now, everyone talks about AI. Like, what's your take on AI? How does this AI changes this landscape of what we do today?
Very good question. The way I look at AI is, especially in my space, there is tremendous opportunity, right? So we build products for IT, and it's a platform that does workflow-based automation, right? So there is always automation at play. We're always looking at automating or solving customers' problem in an automated fashion, right? Trying to reduce manual efforts wherever we can, right? Now, there is a shift that is happening in the market and in the industry, right? With especially with generative AI and agentic AI. Customers are really looking for, how do you better use this technology to produce more value, right? So from my perspective, AI-based automation and really looking at the data and producing data-driven insights, that is going to tremendously change the way organizations operate. That's where I see a lot of opportunities, right? And the things that we are doing, especially from my perspective, the vision is not just to build AI features, right? I do see a trend where everybody want to get into this bandwagon and then, produce something which says, hey, I also have an AI offering or I have AI features.
Yeah.
But really what we are trying to do is we are trying to evolve our platform into an AI-enabled platform, which means that every single interaction, every single workflow that you touch, there is some AI in it, right? Something which is visible. Sometimes it is completely invisible to you, but it is happening behind the scenes.
Got it. So just meaning, if I have to summarize this, rather than just having something AI, you are really making AI to the use.
Exactly.
And,
right.
And getting maximum productivity out of it for your customers.
Yeah. So we want to evolve this as an AI-based platform, right? We are not really after building a specific feature and call it that I have AI in my solution. And I think that's how every leader should be looking at how we can use, better use AI.
Yeah, that's a good perspective also to look at things when these things come up. At times you have seen a lot of buzz happening around these things, but only some work happens. But I think what you are talking about is really taking that and making it a full-fledged solution rather than just using it as a piecemeal.
Absolutely right. And especially in the enterprise world, that is the only way you can actually beef up the adoption of AI, right? Enterprises, most of the time, they are slow on adopting latest technologies, but it is different when it comes to AI because there's a lot of top-down initiatives that's happening across the enterprise where everybody wants to show that they're doing something in AI. But, what they are realizing is that, okay, I'm investing in AI and I don't see enough value. And the reason why they're not seeing enough value is because not everybody are looking at this platform-based approach, right? Where how do you evolve your existing solution into a completely AI-driven solution?
Yeah. So now talking about, so we talked about AI, new thing coming up. If you have to look back in your past, talk about some challenges where you wanted to adapt something new and there were you faced some challenge. Not necessarily AI, it's pretty new, but anything in past, because every time there will be a resistance to a change. So in your past experiences in this leadership roles where you want to bring on something, what are the challenges you may have seen?
For sure. One thing I must tell you is for anyone who wants to, thrive in this industry, change is the only constant, right? This is something we have to keep in mind always. and be adaptable to change, right? Now, one of the things that I have gone through in my career, this is, I believe, somewhere around 2009, 2010 time. Um, the mobile revolution was happening with smartphones and everything.
Yeah.
Right. We decided to come up with a mobile first application, right, for our platform. And at that time, not many people were believing in it, right? Enterprise users really using mobile phone or tablets, installing a corporate application on it, and then navigating through that. All of that, people were too skeptical about it, right? Is that really going to work? And on the enterprise side, so we came up with this concept called consumerization of IT, right? Basically, what that means is you get a certain experience as a consumer. You go to App Store, you go to Netflix, right? And that you get that seamless experience. You go to Amazon.com, right? Why can't you get that same experience on the enterprise side, which was not the case before, right? If you need to get some help, you have to either call somebody or you have to email, right? This was 15 years ago I'm talking about. So when we decided to come up with this mobile first product, there were a lot of skepticism from the market, from the sales, but we have real conviction that yes, this is going to work, right? So there were resistance initially, right? And then we decided to go ahead and build this mobile first product. Eventually, it was hugely successful, right? I mean, when I left the company, this particular product, from zero, it has gone all the way up to close to 200 million ARR, right? That was in a span of, I think, 6-7 years. We had our challenges, during the initial days, 1.0, 2.0 launch, but then eventually, everybody adopted to it, right? So that was a great learning that, once you understand what's going on in the industry and, be an early adopter, adapt to the change and build solutions that will help to, improve the customer experience and make them more efficient, right? So that was, I think it's one great learning, I would say.
Amazing. Yeah, I think that number itself is really cool to hear that, what that belief can produce, like in terms of results, right? And having that conviction. That's a great story. Challenges are everywhere, but how do you overcome those challenges, belief, and then delivering it at the end of the day? Going back in time, like maybe in your early college days, like what were you like? Were you like really interested in technology, or was there a point when it was an aha moment? Like, tell me about the college.
I mean, it's a long story, but I'll give a shorter version of it, if you will. Right. Right after my 12th grade, I was always passionate about maths, right? And what I thought at that time was I wanted to pursue a career in math, right? Take a math major and get into something. So that was the kind of thought I had at that time. But then there were multiple people, one of my teacher and one of my neighbors, they have influenced me to get into engineering, right? So that's how I got into engineering. And this was around the time of, year 2000, right around the time the .com boom happened, which everybody knew. And computer science was not an interesting subject to, believe it or not.
It was getting a little scary.
Exactly, right. And I still remember, some of my friends and even relatives used to ask me this question, right? Is this the right major you wanted to do? Because, what they see and hear in the news, right? So that's how I got into engineering. Now, having done a major in computer science, both graduation and a master's in computer science, you don't have any other choice but to get into technology industry, right? Especially during college days, uh, we as friends used to always talk about, what kind of career we all will pursue because we don't know where this industry is going, etc. But really, some of the things that inspired me is at our college, they used to bring industry leaders time to time, right? And then conduct seminars and things like that. They come and talk about what's happening in the industry, right? Some of the technological trends, things like that. That really gave us a lot more insight into what's going on, right? Outside world, right? And then this is this is the future, right? That kind of gave us assurance that this is the future and you are actually on the right track, right? That those kind of exposure really helped us to really focus on, okay, this is an area we wanted to continue to focus on. And then once we started getting into more coding and learning new technologies and stuff like that, really got in interest into it. And then yes, this can really solve real world problems, right? So that's kind of how I got into the technology, or how I got passionate about technology.
Nice. Yeah, I'm glad that .com burst was only short lived. And everybody else believed that, okay, there is a lot more to do. And I believe, especially in Bay Area, like so many techies, right?
Exactly.
It was really scary at the moment, but then the rest is history after that.
Exactly.
We are just flying.
Yes.
So you got out of college, and then it was that time, but then you got hooked up to technology, and then you started your career. When you started your career, like tell us about what kind of support you got from your family, the fact that you moved from India to the US. Who were part of those journey with you, like, and what kind of support you got during those days? I'm sure that when we start something new, there are a lot of challenges. So tell us about that.
Absolutely right. So I was one of the lucky ones, I would say. Right after college, was able to secure a good job. So started working in the industry as a software engineer. And then, I think within a very short span of time, I got an opportunity to come here. Since then, been here in Bay Area, made this as home. Then started the journey, continued the journey here. But at the same time, after getting married and all that, we were looking at, do we want to continue here? Do we want to go back? Etc. Right? Because my wife, she also comes from a professional background, from the healthcare industry. And then I was really passionate about what I do, and I wanted to really progress in my career. At some point, we decided that it was more from my wife's side, that she said, I think if both of us continue to pursue our career, probably going to have an impact, or it may not strike the right balance for the family. So she has actually decided to take a break and then sort of take care of family and the kids and all that. And then once the kids were back in school, and they are kind of their own right now, and she got back into the industry and started continuing her career and passion. So I think the overall story there is, without that support system, right, there's no way I could have become what have I could not have accomplished what I have accomplished in my journey so far.
Yeah. So that
Right. So I'm always grateful for that.
So we talked about the support that you got from your wife. That's so amazing. One thing I also want to know, what is your, like, we talked about your work life and how busy you are during your work hours, leading the team, building products. What are you outside that, like, in terms of social life, community engagement? Like, are there any areas where you are engaged with the community?
Yes. Outside of work, usually, we try to find some personal time. We go for long walks. We love hiking up in the mountains.
Nice.
So we do that time to time. Love reading books. When it comes to giving back to community, yes, I'm part of a larger community here where we are heavily involved in doing a lot of social work, both here in the Bay Area as well as back in India.
Uh-huh.
So we have done some, work that whatever we could from our side to give back to the community. One area that we focus on is education. One of the things that me and a few of my friends have done is, we have seen back in India, there are many bright, talented kids, right, who wants to pursue higher education, but they don't have the financial backing, right? Things like education loans and things like that are not easily available to them, right? So we try to find such talents, do real background checks and things like that, and then we try to support them, right? We have actually supported quite a few candidates in the last several years. This is a way, instead of doing some one-off charity type work, right? You're helping to upbring a family, right?
Yeah, a long-lasting impact.
Exactly, it's a long-lasting impact, and the way we do it is also that we don't want to give this away for free, right? So we work with individuals. We really track their semester marks and things like that, how they are progressing in their academics, and also once they settle down, once they get a job, right, we actually ask them to pay back so that we can actually take that money, put it back into the pool, and help more people.
Yeah,
right. In fact, one of the things that we have seen is that a candidate who have gone through this system, he actually started contributing more to it, right, from a portion of his salary.
Wow.
Because he's like, this is how I was able to build a career myself, right? So I wanted to help. So let me be part of your the system, and then start contributing more. So
you started a chain reaction that way.
Yeah. I think it's a good way to give back to community, especially identify area where you are passionate about, and then start contributing in whatever way you can, right?
Oh, that's amazing, because there are a lot of needy people around, and identifying them and getting them what they are lacking. It's an amazing thing, and taking that time out of your busy schedule and still thinking about that one objective really makes a lot of difference, actually. It's great to know about your story. It's like when you are in this leadership role, overseeing some of these product and engineering stuff, and is there any message that you want to give to budding leaders, in terms of, okay, your leadership style, or what has helped you so far to grow in your career so much?
I think a few points I wanted to call out. One is, get out of your comfort zone, right? If you really want to make a lasting impact, if you want to accomplish something in life, really get out of your comfort zone. Don't sit in your comfort zone. Right? If you're sitting in your comfort zone for a too long time, that means you're not really learning, you're not progressing in your career. Right. So get out of that. Second is, I would say, people, right? Especially people who are in the leadership role. It is important for you to build a strong, group of people who can, who is aligned with your vision and your passion, what you want to do, what you want to execute. Right. So aligning, identifying the right people who can align with your vision. And, if they are successful, you're successful, right? They are the one who are going to make you successful in your vision. So people is the second thing, right? The third, I think, is really know and understand customers and customer pain points, right? Work closely with customers and give them the trust that we are there for them. Because remember, when a customer signs a check for you, right? When they buy your product, they are making a bet, right? I mean, sometimes these, when they sign a contract or a deal with you, when they buy your product, right? It could be a career expanding move or a career limiting move for them, right? Because when they take your product, implement it in their environment, if it doesn't go well, it could be a career limiting move for them. So remember, they're also taking risk. Right. So work with them, build that trust that you're always there for them. Right. So I think those are the things which really helped me, really progress in my careers.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it for all the budding leaders, upcoming leaders who want to be like you. Those three areas, I feel, they are important. So thank you for sharing that insight and letting our audiences know that, what it takes, apart from, the regular hustle of what you do. It's not like easy feat by any means, but these fine tuning definitely can help, I would say. So thank you so much again for sharing your journey, career journey, your personal insights about your life, your college. It's been a pleasure to talk to you, and I'm sure that our audiences will love to hear your journey. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.